Women, they're still discriminated against in many professional fields.
I immediately sought out the people in the civil rights movement.
All my troubles seem so far away.
The 1960s were a decade of upheaval, mystery, and distrust, setting the stage for some of the most enduring conspiracy theories in history. From covert CIA operations and secret government experiments to unexplained disappearances and cultural manipulations, the era brims with unanswered questions. Mysteries like the JFK assassination, MKUltra, and the Zodiac Killer continue to fascinate and alarm, while rumors about pop culture and social movements hint at hidden agendas. So, join us as we explore 25 conspiracy theories from the 1960s that remain unsolved. When Marilyn Monroe was found dead in her Los Angeles home in 1962,
Bonjour, mesdames. How do you do? I am the manager. May I help you?
Certainly may. Show me a place to take my shoes off. My feet are killing me.
the official ruling cited a probable suicide by barbiturate overdose. Yet, almost immediately, speculation arose that her death was far from accidental. Rumors linked Monroe to high-profile affairs with President John F. Kennedy and Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy, suggesting she knew secrets too dangerous to reveal. Conspiracy theorists claim Monroe may have been silenced to protect political reputations or national security, pointing to inconsistencies in police reports, missing phone records, and conflicting witness statements. Others argue her death scene appeared staged, raising further doubts. While medical examiners upheld the suicide ruling, the combination of Monroe's troubled personal life and her ties to the powerful created fertile ground for suspicion. Decades later, her tragic end remains a mystery steeped in glamour, scandal, and unanswered questions. The assassination of President John F. Kennedy shocked the United States and the world.
Professor Woodrow Wilson once said that every man sent out from a university should be a man of his nation.
Occurring during a motorcade in Dallas. While the official investigation concluded that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone, numerous alternative theories quickly emerged. Some suggest the CIA orchestrated the assassination due to Kennedy's perceived soft stance on communism or his policies regarding Cuba. Others implicate the mafia, claiming Kennedy's crackdown on organized crime threatened their interests, while anti-Castro Cuban exiles are thought by some to have acted in retaliation for the Bay of Pigs invasion. Over decades, documents and investigations have fueled speculation, but no theory has been definitively proven. To this day, the assassination remains a subject of debate and intrigue. If the assassination of a sitting president could inspire decades of suspicion, could it be that government planners were even willing to stage attacks on their own citizens to achieve political objectives? Operation Northwoods was a proposed plan by U.S. military leaders to stage fake terrorist attacks against American targets in order to justify military action against Cuba. The plan included scenarios such as hijackings, bombings, and even simulated attacks on U.S. citizens, intended to sway public opinion and pressure political leaders. While the proposals were formally drafted, President Kennedy ultimately rejected them, and the operation was never executed. The existence of Northwoods was revealed decades later through declassified documents, sparking debates about the lengths governments might go to manipulate public perception. Though controversial, Operation Northwoods remains a historical example of extreme military planning, raising speculation but never resulting in real-world action. MKUltra was a secret CIA program aimed at researching mind control techniques during the Cold War. The agency conducted experiments using LSD, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and other psychological manipulations on unwitting subjects, including civilians, prisoners, and military personnel. The goal was to explore methods of interrogation, influence behavior, and potentially create programmed operatives. Public awareness of MKUltra emerged years later through investigations, notably after the Church Committee hearings, leading to outrage over ethical violations and lack of consent. While some records were destroyed, survivors' testimonies confirm abuses. Although the full scope and outcomes remain partially unknown, MKUltra fueled decades of speculation about governmental control, mind manipulation, and covert experimentation, leaving its true effects largely unexplained. If intelligence agencies could test mind control techniques on unwitting subjects, how far might they have gone to surveil and disrupt domestic activists and social movements? COINTELPRO was a covert FBI program aimed at surveilling, infiltrating, and disrupting political organizations deemed subversive.
And over 80% of the targets of COINTELPRO were members of the Black Panther Party,
including civil rights groups, anti-war activists, and black empowerment movements. Its existence became public in the 1970s after leaked documents revealed tactics such as disinformation campaigns, forged letters, and harassment of leaders to sow distrust and weaken movements. Some conspiracy theorists suggest COINTELPRO extended beyond its confirmed scope, possibly influencing public opinion or criminalizing dissent more broadly. While it is documented that the program engaged in illegal surveillance and interference, many details remain unclear due to destroyed files. COINTELPRO remains a case study in governmental overreach and fueled speculation about broader manipulations of social movements during the 1960s. The New World Order theory posits that a secretive global elite, including influential politicians, bankers, and corporations, works behind the scenes to control the world's resources and influence scenes to consolidate power and eventually dominate world governance.
Markham resident has been honored for his 50 years of community service during a special ceremony held Tuesday night.
While this idea existed in fragments earlier, it gained traction in the 1960s alongside fears of Cold War conspiracies, nuclear threats, and globalization. Proponents cite secretive international organizations, treaties, and coordinated economic policies as evidence of an overarching plan. Skeptics argue the theory conflates normal diplomacy with hidden agendas. Despite decades of speculation, no concrete evidence proves the existence of a coordinated plan to establish world domination. The New World Order remains a persistent, unresolved theory, reflecting public anxiety about concentrated power. During the 1960s USA, widespread social change, youth rebellion, and countercultural movements, including protests, experimental lifestyles, and new music, transformed Western society.
No split levels, no Cadillacs, no commuter's bridge, no falling weight. What are they doing with their lives?
Some theorists claim intelligence agencies, particularly the CIA, subtly manipulated these movements to shape public opinion and maintain social control, allegedly encouraging anti-establishment attitudes while monitoring activists. Evidence cited includes funding of cultural programs, promotion of certain artists, or media influence, though much of it is speculative. While there is no confirmed proof of deliberate manipulation, the theory reflects concerns about hidden influence over popular culture. Whether true or false, it sparked debates about the intersection of government, culture, and social change, illustrating the era's tension between freedom and covert oversight. As commercial air traffic boomed in the 1960s, observers began noticing persistent white streaks behind jet aircraft and speculated they were more than harmless condensation.
This video, which has been seen over 14 million times online, is supposed to be evidence of aeroplanes dropping toxic chemicals from the sky.
The chemtrails theory claims governments or secret programs deliberately spray chemical or biological agents from high-altitude aircraft to modify weather, disperse toxins, control populations, or conduct covert experiments. Official scientists insist the trails are ordinary contrails, condensed water vapor that lingers under certain atmospheric conditions. Yet, the theory persisted, fueled by anecdotal reports, classified atmosphere research during the Cold War, and mistrust of authorities. For many, chemtrails encapsulate broader anxieties about unseen environmental manipulation and the opacity of state projects. Though repeatedly debunked by atmospheric experts, chemtrail beliefs endure in subcultures, spawning online communities, FOIA requests, and calls for transparency about aerial activities and geoengineering research, and demand independent scientific oversight. Some conspiracy theorists claim that the feminist movement, which gained momentum in the 1960s, was subtly manipulated by intelligence agencies to destabilize traditional social structures.
At the present time, it's a sort of watershed, I think. Women are apparently liberated in many ways, but in fact and in practice, they're not. They're still discriminated against in many professional fields.
According to this theory, by promoting women's liberation, governments could create societal tensions, distract from political dissent, or weaken cohesive communities. Advocates point to supposed funding of feminist organizations or media campaigns as evidence, though no definitive proof exists. The theory intersects with broader Cold War anxieties about ideological influence and cultural engineering. While the feminist movement undeniably advanced women's rights, historians and researchers find no concrete evidence of CIA orchestration. The theory persists mainly as speculation, reflecting public suspicion of covert influence on social change. During the 1960s, growing awareness of pollution, population growth, and ecological threats led to the rise of environmental activism. Some conspiracy theories claim that this movement was promoted or guided by governments to regulate citizen behavior, justify regulations, or control societal priorities.
This leads us to the question, what were some of the important actions environmentalists took to further their goal?
Proponents argue that by emphasizing environmental crises, authorities could influence consumption patterns, urban planning, or political engagement. Critics note that genuine concerns about industrial pollution and sustainability were already widespread, making official manipulation difficult to prove. While environmental policies undeniably shaped societal behavior, there is no concrete evidence that the movement itself was a deliberate tool of social control. The theory remains speculative, reflecting anxieties about hidden agendas in public campaigns. The civil rights movement of the 1960s sought to end racial segregation and secure equal rights for Black Americans, led by figures such as Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X.
In 1960, I immediately sought out the people in the civil rights movement. I had never heard of passive resistance. I knew violence.
While the movement achieved landmark legislation like the Civil Rights Act, some conspiracy theorists argue it was orchestrated or subtly manipulated by the government as a psychological operation to control Black communities, monitor activism, or redirect social unrest. Proponents point to COIN, TELPRO, and other surveillance programs as possible evidence of covert involvement. Critics emphasize that the grassroots nature of protests and the sacrifices of participants make such manipulation unlikely. No conclusive proof exists, leaving this theory unresolved and purely speculative. During the 1960s, opposition to U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War grew rapidly, with protests organized by students, activists, and labor groups. Some conspiracy theories claim that these movements were infiltrated by communist agents aiming to destabilize the U.S. government and weaken support for the war effort. Evidence cited includes alleged connections between certain activists and leftist organizations, as well as government surveillance of protest networks. While the FBI and other agencies documented some communist sympathizers among anti-war groups, most historians view the movement as largely genuine and grassroots. The idea that it was primarily a communist operation remains speculative, with no definitive proof, though it reflects Cold War-era fears of ideological subversion. During the Cold War, tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union heightened fears of communism and nuclear conflict.
Then they very generously showed her around the offices and even the teleprinters which were in direct contact with Paris.
Some theorists argue that the media was intentionally used to shape public perception, influence political attitudes, and control the narrative around domestic and international events. Allegations include selective reporting, propaganda campaigns, and suppression of dissenting voices to maintain support for government policies, including the Vietnam War and anti-communist initiatives. While media outlets undoubtedly had biases and were influenced by government messaging, no definitive proof exists of a fully coordinated manipulation program. The theory remains speculative, reflecting concerns about the power of information and public opinion during an era of global ideological struggle. And if public perception could be influenced by news, could pop culture itself hide cryptic messages or rumors, like the supposed death of Paul McCartney? In the late 1960s, a bizarre rumor emerged that Paul McCartney, bassist of the Beatles, had died in a car accident and been secretly replaced by a look-alike. Fans claimed clues were hidden in album covers, song lyrics, and reversed recordings.
All my troubles seem so far away,
suggesting the band was signaling McCartney's death subtly. The speculation spread rapidly through newspapers, radio, and word of mouth, becoming a cultural phenomenon. While the rumor generated intense public fascination, Paul McCartney himself appeared publicly to dispel it, confirming he was alive. Despite being debunked, the Paul is dead story persists as a classic example of fan-driven conspiracy culture, illustrating how media interpretation and collective imagination can fuel widespread belief in an unlikely scenario. During the 1960s, reports of unidentified flying objects, UFOs, and alleged alien encounters captured public attention. Some conspiracy theories claim that governments, particularly the U.S., concealed evidence of extraterrestrial life to prevent panic or maintain technological secrecy. High-profile incidents like Roswell in the previous decade contributed to growing speculation that UFO sightings were systematically covered up. Theories suggest recovered spacecraft, alien autopsies, and secret research programs, though no verifiable evidence has ever been confirmed. Governments officially deny possessing alien technology or knowledge of extraterrestrials. While UFO phenomena remain documented, the claims of a coordinated cover-up remain unproven. The theory continues to fuel public fascination and debate about life beyond Earth. And if UFOs were being monitored, could mysterious objects like the Black Knight satellite be part of a larger cosmic observation effort? The Black Knight satellite conspiracy suggests that a mysterious object has been orbiting Earth for centuries, allegedly monitoring human activity. Interest in the theory grew in the 1960s when amateur radio operators and early space missions reported detecting unusual signals and unidentified objects in orbit. Some proponents claim the satellite is of extraterrestrial origin, predating human technology, while skeptics argue the observations could be space debris or misidentified satellites. Despite decades of speculation, no verifiable evidence confirms its existence or alien origin. The story persists in UFO and conspiracy circles as an unexplained anomaly, illustrating the era's fascination with space, advanced technology, and the possibility of intelligent life beyond Earth. The Iron Mountain Report is a controversial document that surfaced in the late 1960s, claiming to reveal a government plan to maintain social order through fabricated crises. Presented as a think tank study, it suggested that the U.S. might stage fake alien invasions or other threats to justify military spending and centralize authority. While widely circulated and cited in conspiracy discussions, historians emphasize that the report was intended as satire, critiquing Cold War politics and the military-industrial complex. Despite its fictional origins, the report sparked debates about government manipulation and secret planning, fueling speculation about hidden agendas and fabricated threats. Its legacy endures as a thought-provoking example of how satire can inspire conspiracy theories. The mysterious death of 17-year-old Jeanette De Palma in New Jersey became the subject of widespread speculation. Her body was found on a cliff in a state that some described as unusual, with rumors of occult symbols and ritualistic activity at the scene. While police investigations could not definitively determine the circumstances, local folklore and paranormal enthusiasts fueled theories linking her death to satanic rituals or secret cults. No evidence has substantiated these claims, and the case remains officially unsolved. The story has persisted over decades as an example of how tragic events, combined with cultural fears of the occult, can give rise to enduring conspiracy narratives. The Zodiac Killer was a serial murderer who terrorized Northern California, sending cryptic letters and ciphers to local newspapers while claiming responsibility for multiple killings. Beginning in the late 1960s, the killer targeted young couples and individuals, often in isolated areas, instilling widespread fear. Theories about the killer's identity include suspects ranging from local residents to law enforcement officials, but no conclusive evidence has ever confirmed any one individual. The Zodiac's letters, filled with taunts and codes, fueled intense speculation about motives and hidden messages, some of which remain undeciphered. Despite decades of investigation, modern forensic and investigative techniques have not definitively solved the case, leaving it one of America's most infamous and enduring unsolved serial murder mysteries. As the Vietnam War escalated in the 1960s, anti-war activists and skeptics began questioning the motives behind America's prolonged involvement. Beyond the stated goals of stopping communism, a theory emerged that the war was extended to serve powerful financial interests. Defense contractors, weapons manufacturers, and industries tied to military logistics saw massive profits from the conflict, fueling suspicions that economic gain outweighed human cost. Critics argued that policymakers, pressured by or aligned with these industries, resisted withdrawal to keep the war machine running. The theory gained traction amid revelations of government deception, such as the Pentagon Papers, which showed discrepancies between public statements and internal assessments. For many, Vietnam became a symbol of how wars might be manipulated for profit, highlighting fears that soldiers and civilians paid the ultimate price for corporate and political greed. Elizabeth Short's brutal 1947 murder, where her body was found mutilated in Los Angeles, became one of Hollywood's most infamous unsolved crimes. By the 1960s, the case resurfaced in public interest, and whispers of a police cover-up grew louder. Some claimed investigators shielded powerful figures, Hollywood elites, doctors, or political insiders, by suppressing evidence or failing to pursue leads. Allegations of tampered files, coerced witnesses, and suspiciously dropped suspects fueled suspicions that the LAPD prioritized reputations over justice. Critics argued that corruption and influence in post-war Los Angeles compromised the investigation from the start. Despite countless theories, confessions, and books, the truth never surfaced. The enduring mystery of the Black Dahlia continues to spark speculation that authorities concealed key facts, leaving Elizabeth Short's story clouded in secrecy, scandal, and unanswered questions nearly 8 decades later. The CIA influence in popular music theory builds on concerns about cultural manipulation during the Cold War, claiming that intelligence agencies may have guided songs, albums, and public messaging to influence the emotions and beliefs of listeners. Some proponents cite alleged covert sponsorship of folk and protest musicians, placement of messages in lyrics, or promotion of particular trends as evidence. The goal, according to the theory, was to subtly mold public consciousness, encourage dissent in controlled ways, or counteract ideological threats. Historians and researchers find little verified documentation supporting direct CIA involvement in music, but the theory remains a popular speculative explanation for unexpected cultural shifts, reflecting fears of hidden influence over media and youth culture. While UFO sightings had gained attention in the 1950s, Project Blue Book, the U.S. Air Force's official UFO investigation, continued into the 1960s, compiling thousands of reports. Conspiracy theorists claim that the program actively concealed evidence of extraterrestrial encounters or advanced alien technology. Some suggest that the government downplayed sightings near military installations or classified credible accounts to maintain public ignorance. Skeptics attribute unexplained phenomena to misidentifications or natural events. The secrecy surrounding military investigations, coupled with reports of whistleblowers, keeps speculation alive, making Project Blue Book one of the enduring 1960s-era UFO mysteries. Although the first manned moon landing occurred in 1969, rumors of NASA and U.S. government deception circulated almost immediately afterward.
You were faking it. So that's actually incidental proof that they faked it. We intentionally destroyed all of the moon landing technology.
Some theorists argued that early lunar missions were staged, citing perceived anomalies in photographs, lighting, and astronaut behavior. While these theories became more prominent in later decades, seeds of suspicion emerged in the late 1960s, fueled by Cold War secrecy and intense media scrutiny. Proponents claim the missions were manipulated to assert U.S. dominance over the Soviet Union, while skeptics emphasize technological achievements. The theory underscores the era's mix of space fascination and distrust in government transparency. In 1969, Senator Ted Kennedy was involved in a car accident on Chappaquiddick Island, Massachusetts, which resulted in the death of Mary Jo Kopechne. Conspiracy theory suggests that political operatives or the Kennedy family attempted to suppress evidence, delay reporting, or influence the investigation to protect Ted Kennedy's career. Skeptics point to inconsistencies in witness statements, delayed reporting to authorities, and alleged manipulation of the media narrative. While official investigations concluded it was an accident, lingering questions and the political stature of those involved have fueled speculation that the full truth was never disclosed, making it a lasting mystery of the era.